having a great time here in Cincinnati. As a matter of fact, one of the very first jobs that I had out of school was at the Cincinnati Playhouse in the Park. And so Cincinnati has been part of my life for a very long time because that was in 1971. There are people in this room that were born in 1971. So I'm Henry, as you know. I was born in New York City. My parents were very short German people. I wanted to be an actor since I was 7 years old. I have no idea how that got into my mind or my body. I just know that, I needed to try and be an actor. My father, the very short German, brought a business over here from Germany in 1939, 1940, and wanted me to buy and sell wood. I did not want to buy and sell wood. I didn't even like saying the word wood. I wanted to be an actor. My father spoke 11 languages. I had trouble with English. I am a husband, a father of 3, a grandfather of 3. We have 2 dogs, a little Labrador. He came home, he was so cute, and then he grew into a Great Dane. I have a Labradoodle named Charlotte, who is an independent sleeper. If you dare touch her in the night, I have to remind this dog that it is our bed. Linus is not an independent sleeper. The Great Dane, he likes to sleep on you, like a safety belt. You do not get up in the middle of the night and pee until he lets you go. I'm an actor, a producer, a director. I've written 27 novels for children with my partner, Lynn Oliver, and I'm in the bottom 3% academically in America. My father, who spoke those 11 languages, he would say to me in 11 languages every day, "Why do you think I bought the business over here?" I said, "Besides being chased by the Nazis, Dad, was there a bigger reason?" Because I'm older, I'd like to know. I applied to 28 colleges. I got into 2. One of them was Park University in Missouri. I've never actually met anybody who has gone to Park University. I think it is just a door on a prairie. I also got into Emerson College in Boston. That is where I went. Then I got into the Yale School of Drama. And, I forgot to tell you, my parents, when I was growing up, had an affectionate phrase for me. They called me dummer Hund. For those of you who don't speak German, that means dumb dog. Very supportive, lovely people. This short. I got into Yale and I called them up. I said, "Hey, dummer Hund didn't get, I got into Yale." And my mother, I'll never forget her. Her words were they ring in my ear even today. She said, "Oh, this is very nice. Here, tell your father." 25 actors started at Yale, 11 finished, 3 were asked into the professional company, and I was one of those 3, and I stayed for a year and a half. I left the Yale Repertory Theater, and then I came here to Cincinnati, went to Montgomery for ribs. Is it still here? Really good. And then I went back to New York City. I did a play that opened and closed in one night. It was called 42 Seconds from Broadway. It was 42 seconds on Broadway. I was taking off my makeup. They were ripping out the sink. That's how fast it went. Then I did the Lords of Flatbush with Sly Stallone, who was not as clever at that time, kind of beefy. He would look at the people that were watching us film on the streets of Brooklyn. He would go, "What are you looking at? I'm going to eat you for breakfast." I said, "You probably don't want to do that, Sly. The guy is chewy." I made enough money from commercials and the Lords of Flatbush. I went to California for 1 month. Rented a room from these two women who had cats. They were bald. All of their hair was on my clothing. I'm not a cat person. And then 2 weeks later, I auditioned for a new show. I had hair down to my shoulders. I walked in, and in the green room, they call the green room where the actors wait, either go on the stage or wait to meet the producers and the writers. And I don't know why they call it green. It's never green. I waited in the green room, and every actor at this particular audition was famous. They were all on television. And me, "Hi, how are you? Wow, you look famous even sitting down." And I auditioned, and 2 weeks later, they called me at the end of my stay in Hollywood, when my money ran out, when I had to go back to New York City, and they said, "Would you like to play this character?" And I said, "Look, when he takes his jacket off, who does he have to be cool for? If you let me show the other side, that's probably for me. That's my wife, she can find me anywhere. If you let me show the other side of the character, the emotional side, it will be my pleasure." They said yes, I said yes, and I did the pilot. I had 6 lines. And for the next 10 years, I went, "E." And then I added my own word, "Whoa," which came from my favorite sport at the time, horseback riding. Now it's fly fishing for trout. I don't know what will happen. Whoosh. I don't know what I would do with that sound. Whoa. There you go, beautiful. Whoa, get over here. I had the most wonderful time. We were on in 126 countries. When I was 31, my stepson, Jed, was in the 3rd grade, and we had him tested, and everything that they said to him was true about me. And at 31, I found out I wasn't stupid, I wasn't lazy, I wasn't a dummer Hund. I had dyslexia. I had something with an N. I finally defined it. I defined dyslexia for myself. You spend a third of your time trying to figure out school. You spend a third of your time trying to figure out why you cannot figure it out. And you spend a third of your time covering your shame and humiliation, and I used humor. Sir, do you keep getting phone calls? Oh, my God, are you popular? I'd like to have that damn phone. I got a phone, nobody calls me. You know, there is the possibility of actually turning that off. I mean, just while I'm speaking, the next person, hey, just let it ring. No, it's okay. It's just, you know, it hurts my feelings. Yeah, because, you know, whoever that is you think is more important than me. I'm going to come down there in a minute. I'm going to test you on everything I've said. I don't mean it much. So then we finished Happy Days, and I became a producer. I don't like producing. I started directing. I don't mind directing. I love acting. So here's my metaphor for that. Producing is like holding sand in your arms. When you never stop the drip. Everybody has gone home. You as the producer, you're left there. You're just solving problems until like the next morning. As a director, you try to get all that sand into one box. And as an actor, I get to play in the sand. I really love acting, but I had a lull in my acting career. Who knew there would be a lull? I was typecast. Everything I got was like the Fonz. You know, I was asked to be in Grease. And I thought, oh, well, I've done the Fonz, and, you know, I'm not going to do that. So I went home and I had a soda. John Travolta did it. He went home and bought a plane. But you know what? I don't regret it because, listen, you take responsibility for your own choices. I've had the most extraordinary time. Then somebody said, hey, why don't you write books for kids about your dyslexia? And I said, well, because I'm stupid. You know, I believed it. If you say you're stupid or lazy or dumb or silly or whatever it is often enough to a child, they start to believe what you're saying. I believed I was stupid. This is what I learned. For every child in this room, every child in the child of every child that's in this room. How we learn has nothing to do with how brilliant you are. And if you understand and you find what is great inside you, your job is to dig it out and give it to the world as a gift. There is not... That's what I have learned. That every child... You know, I took geometry for 4 years, same course. I felt terrible. I was humiliated. I couldn't get it. I didn't know what they were talking about. And I didn't graduate with my class. I got my diploma in the mail because I couldn't pass geometry. Finally, I got a D in summer school my senior year. That was in 1963. From then until all the way to today, let me tell you, not one person on this planet ever said the word hypotenuse to me. What the hell were they thinking? So this is what I learned in my life. We've got to start teaching children how they learn, not what we think they should learn. Amen. Hello. Come to Henry. Does anybody have a question? Anybody have a question? There's a microphone here. I bet that's for questions. Anybody have a question? Anybody have to pee? You know what, sir? Just stand right there. What is your question?
Do you have any special talents that some people might not know about? What's your name? Brian.
Where are you from?
Middleton.
Okay, do I have any special talents? What I do is not enough? A musical instrument. No. But I want to say that if there is such a thing as reincarnation, I am coming back as Bruce Springsteen. So that's taken. Just so you know. Sir, what is your name?
My name is Mike from Cincinnati.
Where are you from?
Cincinnati, right here. Can you share a story that you haven't in the last month or two about Robin Williams?
Robin Williams. Robin Williams came on a Wednesday. Now, when we did Happy Days, we started at 10 o'clock in the morning on Monday, and we shot the show 7 o'clock Friday night. So everybody that was in the show started Monday morning at 10 o'clock. We couldn't find a morgue. And this very shy young man came up, and he had the audition, and Gary Marshall brought him down to the set. And he was very shy. It was hard for him to even say his name. He stood there, picked up the script, and it was like there was an explosion in the middle of the soundstage on Paramount Live. All I knew was that this man was filled with greatness, and my job was not to laugh and get out of his way. And it was an amazement to be there at the very beginning and to see something that special, fully blown, just jump out of the magic land. I was just helping myself there. Could have been Barbara, but I went with it. Sir, what is your name?
My name is Michael from Cincinnati. You've done a bunch of movies.
I've done a bunch of movies.
Yeah, Adam Sandler, Waterboy,
Yes.
Here Comes the Boom, and then there was one you played.
Here Comes the Boom. Anybody see Here Comes the Boom? I love that movie. Night Shift? Yes.
How did you get involved with Adam Sandler with production?
Adam Sandler was a fan of the Fonz, honest to God. He had an 8-track of the Happy Days music. He called me up, wanted me to sign it. I was in the Hanukkah song. Do you think anybody just drank out of it? No. I wouldn't do that to the next person. The last person who speaks, however, is going to go thirsty. So Adam called me up, and Adam is a genius. Adam is one of the 3 geniuses I've worked with in my life. Gary Marshall, Adam Sandler, Mitch Hurwitz, the head of Arrested Development. Gary Zuckerberg is pretty nuts. Anybody watch Children's Hospital? For those of you who don't, I think it starts again in March. In March, it's on the Cartoon Network. The Cartoon Network. See, I repeat it so you remember. It's called Children's Hospital. It is the craziest show I've ever seen. It's on at 12 o'clock at night. Will you stay up? Sir, what is your name?
My name is Cal from Cincinnati. Obviously, Happy Days was before my time, but there's obviously the one famous/infamous scene of the shark jumping scene, which is now linked to the television term jumping the shark.
Yes, John Hine came up with it in his dorm room at Michigan University.
Yeah, you have any stories about that?
Well, no, we jumped the shark. I water skied. I did all the water skiing except for the jump. That was a stunt man. They wouldn't let me do that. Every time they mentioned jump the shark in the newspaper, they would put a picture of me water skiing. I had great legs at that time. And we were #1 for like 4 years after I jumped the shark. So I think that was just in John's mind. You know? Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Josh from Rochester, New York. Is it too late to get into your dad's lumber business? Because
Yes.
I would love to buy lumber from Winkler's Wood.
Thank you.
So much too late.
And let me just say, I've got some wood. Holy mackerel! Thank you, sir. Here's a kid 5 years old. He's clapping. Wait until you understand what I'm saying. Wow, are you going to have a good time? Sir. Hold on. Darling, what is your name?
It's Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
My question is, you've done 2 of my favorite shows, Happy Days, and you guest on Law & Order, which
Yes.
is one of my favorites.
Thank you.
Is there any kind of actor that you kind of geek out to see, to what someone either you've never seen or
Yes,
someone
I
you've
love
seen?
Anthony Hopkins. I love Jack Nicholson. I love Ryan Gosling. I think Ryan. Emma Stone. I think Emma. Those people never have a false beat. They are just great. I wish I was as good, as young as Ryan is. I'm not kidding. I think he is just unbelievably good. Thank you. Hi, darling. What is your name?
Hi, my name's Whitney.
Hi, Whitney.
Hello, Miss
Nowitzki.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Yeah. No, you know what? Nur ein bisschen.
Ein bisschen? Ja,
Yeah.
sehr gut.
Thank you.
Was about auf Deutschland ist
How about if you go right back to English? Cute though, very cute.
Thank you. Oops.
Whoops.
I have 2 questions. I would love for you to tell the story of the brown jacket that you wore and and also you have made a very good career for yourself while being very recognized for Bond, but you seem to have, even though you said you were typecasted, you've kind of grown beyond that. Can you
Right.
explain how you did that?
Okay, here we go. Brown jacket. When I first played the Fonz, you'll notice that in the early episodes, I was not able to wear leather. ABC thought I was going to be associated with crime if I wore leather. Gary Marshall went to ABC and said, how do we get him to wear a leather jacket? They said, okay, if he does a scene with his bike, he can wear leather. Gary Marshall, because there were no cell phones at that time, stopped at a gas station, called Paramount, called the writer's room, and said, never write another scene without his bike, so he could wear leather. The first one was stolen from the Department of Costumes, so they made me 5 leather jackets. They put under lock and key, and one of them I gave to the Smithsonian Institution in Washington. So it's in a museum, which is an amazing thing for a guy who was told he would never achieve. Okay, number 2, typecasting. Things will happen to you in your life. Things that seem to be insurmountable. Here it is. Every single one of you sitting here at this moment is very powerful. Whether you believe it or not, you have a human power that drives us forward as human beings. You can either be stopped by what seems to be insurmountable, or you can say, I'm going to figure out how to solve this problem because I don't want to be where I am, I want to be there. And then you move to there, one foot in front of the other, and eventually you get to stand here and talk to you.
My name is John. I really just came up here to say thank you for calling my mother earlier today. You meant my two
You know what,
sisters.
is she loose?
I think for you she would be. If you showed up at the door in the Fonz outfit,
And you
yeah.
shall receive. Okay. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you. Here we go. Wow. Welcome, Tim. How are you?
Pretty good. I'm from Hamilton, Ohio. Watched you for many, many, many years.
Yes. You show
your
good
career. Seen you mostly in comedies, but I was pleasantly surprised when you played a villain in Special Victims Unit. So I was wondering how it was to play a bad guy for once.
Do you know what? That's my job. I was trained to be an actor, to create other people. And everybody that is written very well in theater, in entertainment, is inside all of us. And then our job is to find those parts of us that fit. So I loved it, and people talk to me all the time about it. And I must have done that, over 10 years ago. And so it is really a great compliment. Thank you.
Great.
Thank
It was
you.
great seeing you, and welcome to Cincinnati.
Thank you. Would you just lower the mic for this fabulous person right behind you?
There you go.
Can I give you a hug?
Yes, you can. She's a plant. I've met her before. But she's so cute. Yes, my darling. What is your name?
My name is Sophie.
And where are you from? Good.
I made a picture.
You made a picture. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you very much. Superwoman.
My name is Kate. I'm
Hi,
from
Kate.
Cincinnati.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Wonderful.
If you could punch one person, the Arrested Development cast.
Oh, I'll tell you what. If I could punch one person, all right. Now you know that I write these children's books. They are about my life as a dyslexic, and I had the worst teacher on the planet. Her name was Miss Adolph. I think she was related. If I could punch one person, do you know that I raised my hand in the 4th grade to ask her to go to the boys' room? I am still waiting for her to call on me.
But if you could punch one person from the Arrested Development cast, would it be Michael Cera?
I love Michael Cera. I love Michael Cera, and Michael Cera is a very good friend of my son. I would not punch Michael. He's on Broadway right now as we speak. Unbelievable. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, my darling.
I was wondering if you could actually do the quarter trick.
I can do the quarter trick.
Can you tell us how?
No, a magician never tells you how they can do a trick. But it is the only trick that I do. I will be at my booth after this is over for about a half an hour before I go to a delicious dinner. And then I'll be back after that, I think. So I will show you at my booth. You look great in yellow, babe. Little bumblebee. Yes?
Hello, sir.
Hi.
I really enjoyed what you said, how you wanted to play the Fonz. You wanted to be, when he takes off the jacket, how cool,
Right.
like who does he have to be cool
Right.
for? And you want to show the guy behind the jacket. What do you think is the moment in the series that is best shown?
When Richie was in an accident, he was
Right.
in a hospital, and I cried over him making a deal with God. Yeah, that was the quintessential. You know where that came from? There was a home for wayward boys in Massachusetts. And they wrote a letter to Gary Marshall, and they said, look, these guys are very tough, and they love the Fonz, but they will not show emotion. Could you do an episode where the Fonz shows emotion? And we did it directly from that letter. That's where that came from. Thank you. Could you lower the microphone for the people behind you? There you go. Hi.
Hi.
What is your name?
I'm Rachel Leggett. I'm from Chillicothe, Ohio. My question is, do you and Ron Howard still have a relationship?
Yes, we do. As a matter of fact, we're married. Ron Howard is in England, and he's making a movie, and he is a good friend of mine. He's like my younger brother, and he is a very talented man. I love him. Thank you. Great question. Hello. You help? Hi.
Hi.
What is your name?
Ashley.
Hi, Ash. How is it on your toes? What's going on?
What's your favorite song?
What's my favorite song? Well, I love Bruno Mars. So I like anything on his album. I love Katy Perry. I love Miley Cyrus. She's really good, I think. So I like Wrecking Ball.
I love too.
You and me, babe. Thank you.
And what's your favorite movie too?
My favorite movie that I've ever made, I think, is Night Shift. Thank you. Thank you, sweetie. Sir, what time is it? 4:30, okay.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to ask, was Night Shift. What's your favorite story to talk about Night Shift? What it was like to work?
All right, I'll tell you exactly.
And how was it to act with Michael Keaton? And did you see his newest movie?
I have not seen it. Was that Birdman or yeah? No, I haven't seen Birdman yet. Is it out?
I showed some festivals.
Oh, the festival. Michael Keaton came in, and within 30 seconds of auditioning, he had the part. He was funny and delightful and energetic and just created a beautiful Billy Blaze. I was offered to do either role. I thought, well, I did the Fonz, I will not be Billy Blaze, I'll play Richie, so I played Chuck. Ron Howard was nervous because the crew has worked on 25 million movies and this was his first. He had the respect of everybody on the set within 10 minutes. Thank you. Sir.
Mike here from Kentucky.
Hi.
The character Fonz not only was arguably the best known character from Happy Days, but pretty much transcended into popular culture, even having what was probably the first video game ever made about a real person. Did you have any idea that the character was going to go as far as it did?
I did not. I remember I had 6 lines. I made $1,000 a week. I was in pig heaven. I was just trying to make him come alive and as funny as I possibly could. Ron Howard was actually one of the greatest acting partners I've ever had in my life. We had a simpatico that was, you couldn't make it up. Just great. Thank you, sir. Hello.
I'm Katie.
Hi, Katie.
You said you never got to use geometry in life, so I thought I'd put that to the test. If I'm right.
Do you think I just made that up, Katie? Go ahead. Go ahead. What were you going to say, baby?
If a right triangle has two like lengths of 1 of 3 and 1 of 4, what's the length of the hypotenuse?
Get out of here. There is a word for her in Yiddish. Meshuggah. Means crazy. Katie. Oh my God. Yes.
Jason from Akron. No math, I promise. My daughter gave you a drawing. My son, who's also dyslexic, gave you a hug. I don't have anything for you but a question. How was it to be murdered in the screen?
Oh, yeah, funny. Okay. I'm in screen. I have tubes up my shirt, and they're going to spurt blood. And the guy screams, and the guy, stabs me, and I yell. And Wes Craven, one of the all-time directors of films I don't watch. He's like an English professor. He really is. He's quiet. He's soft-spoken. Freddie is in his brain. I don't know where that. And he came up to me and he said, "Do you think it's excruciating? Do you think being stabbed probably hurts more than that? Do you think you could yell a little louder?" I said, "Sure, I can do that." And so then I screamed. And then the blood spurted. What is your name?
Savannah.
Hi, Savannah.
My question is there a role you ever regretted taking?
No, no. Because you know what? I live by my instinct. And let me just say this, what I learned in my life. Your instinct knows everything. Your stomach knows everything. Your brain only knows a little. No matter how much you think you know. When your tummy goes off and you get like a bad feeling, then you go home. If you're gonna go out with somebody, you get a bad feeling, do not second guess yourself. You go for a job interview and you go, wow, I don't feel good in this place. Go home. Because you will regret it every time if you go against your inner voice. Just thought I'd mention it. Sorry.
Christopher.
Christopher, hi. Okay, this young gentleman in the red shirt, that will be the last question. Because I'm getting tired of this. Yeah, sure.
I was curious as to whether you would be gracious enough to, you talked about the...
I am not gracious.
The 5, oh, okay.
Whatever it is, it'll cost you 20.
Okay. The six lines that you mentioned, if you would give us a read.
You know what, I don't remember that. One of them was, "Hey Richie, let me tell you something. The next time it deals with a girl, you leave it to me, all right? Don't try to be a hero." I have no idea if that was a line, I just made that up. What is your name?
Jesse. And my question is, from what I've gathered, you yourself are not a motorcyclist.
I do not ride. I don't know how to ride a motorcycle.
How difficult was it playing a character who is one of his main things was his motorcycle personality?
Well, during when I played the Fonz, I loved motorcycles. I just couldn't ride it. They put me on a board with 4 rubber wheels and they pulled me by a truck. And I thought I looked great. I actually actually wrote it for about 9 seconds going up the hill in the opening credits. That was it. Sir.
Tony from Springfield, if the opportunity ever arose, would you ever reprise the role of the Fonz? If not, who would you recommend for the role?
I would go with Ryan Gosling. Because he's cool with the jacket on and the jacket off, doesn't matter. I don't know. I have learned in my life never to say never. I used to be so, no, I'm never going. And then I ate my words, you know what I mean? So no, I don't, I will never say no. Yes.
Hello, Sean from Cincinnati. Just before my question, just a quick comment. The funniest moment in television for me ever was when you were on Out of Practice in the Thanksgiving episode. I thought that was the funniest episode of anything I've
You
ever
know
seen.
what? The guy who wrote that episode on Out of Practice, the Thanksgiving episode, is the man who invented Modern Family.
Oh, really? Oh,
the same writer. Oh my God, he was so funny on the page. It was like an honor to be on that show too.
You really were. And my question is about the Happy Days cast. Who from the cast are you closest with today?
I would say Dawn most. Marion Ross is one of the greatest women of the 21st century. She's 84. She is lusty and smart and funny and still works and does plays. I adore her. I adore her. Sir.
It looks like last but not least, I'm Steve from Cincinnati. It's a real pleasure to be able to speak with you.
Thank you.
You've had a marvelous career spanning decades.
40
years. And people
with my walker.
People still enjoy your work. You mentioned 40 years. One of my favorite spots on Happy Days episodes was when you did the Kazansky during the dance.
You know why? Because at my synagogue in New York City, growing up, they would have a dinner dance. And I would do the Kazansky because in the 6th grade, my parents took me to see the Musayev folk ballet from Russia. Those are the people who do that. And I was so moved by the power of that dancing. And they were men and flying, and I taught myself, it's bastardized. I mean, it's not the real thing. But that's where I learned it, in my room, and then I got to do it on Happy Days.
One quick question.
Oh, that wasn't it.
That wasn't it. That was more of a comment that I enjoyed the Kazansky. But my question would be, you know, over the years, people have talked of all the characters that have been on Happy Days, but one of the more unheralded characters, who you don't hear much about, is Chuck. And so I didn't know if you still stay in touch with him at all. The actor who played Chuck.
Yes, this is what happened. Ron Howard had an older brother, Chuck. He was in college. But what happened was the Fonz became the older brother, and they did not know how to write for him also. So they sent him upstairs, and he never came down.
Thank you very much.
You know what? I would just like to say that I thoroughly enjoyed spending this time with you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend, that you enjoy Oktoberfest, that you don't drink and drive, and thank you for being so unbelievably warm to me. And I will see you.